Well, good morning. It's Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. So, we're still trying to get these weekly live streams going. And I don't know how we fare when it comes to that, but we certainly appreciate people dropping in, that's for sure. So, I see a ghost. I see a ghost. Well, I hope I am alive, Michael. Oh, hey, what can we say? We have Robert, the crazy Condo, joined us this morning. I hope you're enjoying your coffee. I haven't worked too hard this morning, that's for sure. If you've watching this in replay, the crazy Condo, Robert, who lives down in Naga City's joined us. Good morning, Ruby. It's nice to have you. Ruby, just to let you know, I did get your email, and I was debating on how to answer it. And to be honest with you, Lynn has never been particularly happy with any of the salons. While she has gotten some reasonable results at SM, she feels like she overpays there. And Candy Realty, or the Candy Properties over in Tower 3, they have a salon, but she's never used them. And I'm scared to give you a recommendation for your visit based only on the fact that, man, I know what it's like for somebody to not be happy with the results of their visit to the salon. So, um, but once you get here, you can maybe chat with Arlen and narrow down a few things. Robert says, the crazy Kano says, Mike, coffee came 2 hours ago. Already mowed the lawn, trimmed the bushes. Wow. Well, let me see here. What did I do this morning? I've had my coffee. I've read the news. I've answered email. I spoke briefly with my daughter as she boarded her flight. So she's about 3 hours in the air now out of San Francisco on her way to Japan, where she'll spend a day in Japan. And then she'll be on her way to Manila on our Wednesday afternoon. So, yeah, I think that's it. But doesn't look like my salon's doing a good job. No, I mean, I'm not happy with the work that they do, but hey, what can I say? You know, I figure it'll grow and live. Elvis, good morning. It's nice to see you. Band, it's been a while. Haven't spoken with you guys in a while. Um, so let's see what else is going to happen here. We double checked all of our flights and reservations for Bohol, putting together some trips for Bohol. But in the meantime, what I've been doing with quite a bit of, I guess the best word for it might be amazing disgust, is watching YouTube channels putting forth so much information. that is frightening. Um, Now, there are great people out there that are very good about being reasonable about the information that they put out with respect to the change in the immigration laws that haven't even been voted on. And we'll see what happens, but I feel like it's just an issue where people are trying to scare people about immigration laws. The immigration laws are going to change, but I don't believe that anything's going to happen with respect to the Philippines hurting their own tourism, which provides an incredible amount of money here. Yeah, Robert, Crazy Conno's been out there mowing the yard at very early in the morning. So, because I mean, for those of you that are watching this in replay, it is 6:30 in the morning here, and he's been up for a couple hours. So that's kind of early here in the Philippines to be mowing your yard. But I do understand trying to beat the heat. The heat and humidity here has been getting nasty. Michael says he just finished the yard work and drinking a cold beer down on a holiday in the weekend U.S. Ruby says, "Isn't our trip going to be affected by the typhoon?" No, Ruby. You know what? That's another thing. And even the news channels here are quite astounding, in my opinion, as to the amount of BS. What happens with the typhoon? I mean, if you look at the um, tracking for the typhoon, I mean, that thing's not gonna. The eye of that typhoon's not gonna come within 500 miles of the Philippines. The rain bands, they're going to stretch out and it's going to rain, but is it going to be anything more than what's standard as a tropical uh, depression? And it's mostly going to affect Luzon, and we're going down to Bohol. So I don't think it's going to affect us at all. Elvis asked, I seen your comment on my comment about Gio's video. Yeah, well, uh, it's nothing negative to say about Gio, only that, hey, putting out information that's a scare tactic for clicks is what it is. And I don't mind saying it. Um, we try and put out stuff. I mean, are there proposed changes to immigration? Sure. Have any of those changes taken place that affect tourist immigration? Not yet. And I don't think they will. I think they'd be crazy to do it. I think that the government, I do like that the government is considering a digital nomad um, visa. However, I'm not sure what it really accomplishes beyond such an already liberal tourist visa. I really don't. I mean, are they just putting that out there so that people say, oh, you know, I can go be a digital nomad? You can be a digital nomad on a tourist visa. Piece of cake. I don't get it. Doesn't matter. Is what it is. Um, Robert, the crazy Condo says, I'm sure my daughter will have a good time. Too many vloggers are in speculation mode. Yeah, I guess you could call it speculation mode, Robert. I guess that's a better word for it than bullshit mode. But hey, it works and it works for them, and hey, it'll be what it's going to be. Pan Jammy says my yard is a six-pack yard. Oh, I can remember those days. When I was younger and we lived in Houston, I used to mow my own yard, trim my own hedges, and do all of that. And it took a full day. My yard was a full day endeavor. bagging the grass and getting rid of the clippings and trimming everything. And then the fire ants. Oh man, hated those. Houston has a huge sandy soil background, and we had fire ants. We never had an ant problem in the house, but we had fire ants in the yard. And man, I'm telling you, you could choke a lawnmower rolling over one of those things. We uh, we eventually found a good, I'm sure, highly toxic. It's probably not FDA approved anymore. Powder that we could put on those things that would kill it, but those fire ants would move, 15 feet away in a matter of hours. It was pretty bad, actually. Ruby says a lot of Asian countries are reviewing their immigration policies, not just the Philippines, where tourism is a major financial draw. Yeah, Ruby, you're absolutely correct. In fact, there's a lot of uh, there's a lot of controversy right now in Bali over their tourism issues, and there's also a lot of controversy in Thailand, according to all the YouTubers. So, um, you have to. I think you have to go and figure it out for yourself. How good is good or bad is bad. I don't know. I mean, we went to Thailand. We had a great time. We three couples hopped on a plane. 2 hours later, we were there. You know, we didn't have any any problems whatsoever. Now, uh, when we were in Pattaya, Walking Street was slammed, and quite frankly, it was a very, very predominantly Asian population on that street. Elvis says, "What's your thoughts on Barkai versus Bohol, considering trip to one?" We love Bohol. We've been there several times, but we've never taken my daughter, and that's what we're going to do this trip. Um, I think Bohol is a great place for a relaxing vacation. Boracay has enough to keep you busy just within walking distance of wherever it is you're staying. It has plenty of stuff to keep you busy, just like Bohol with island hopping and things like that. And we keep learning more and more about Bohol. One of the really neat things this trip about Bohol is my wife's best friend um, is her family is from probably about a 2 hour drive from where we're staying, and her father is in charge of the whale shark boats and boat tours. So we're really looking forward to that. I've always wanted to go to see the Tasir, the little big eyed. They're actually like the smallest monkey that there is. They're actually considered monkeys. They look like a rat with big eyes. But we've never seen them. And I really want to take my daughter to see that because odds are when she grows up, they're not going to be around. And then I don't know what the deal is with Chocolate Hills. I'm not sure. I really think that that's such a big thing, but we'll take a trip there just so that we can say we've been there and this is what we saw. Um, Bagged your grass. I spent some time in Houston. Crazy place. Yeah, man. We used to live up in the Woodlands, and um, actually, ex-wife number two and I used to live up in the Woodlands, and we it was nice. The things that drove me. We left for career reasons, number one, and we didn't have. I mean, we loved Houston. We had a great time in Houston. The restaurants are great. Um, as long as it's not rush hour, getting around town through the belt loops and everything is great. So we liked, or I liked, or Lynn has only been through Houston and stayed there a couple days, but never lived there. Bag my grass. Yes, I did. Matthew, God bless those that gave all on this day. Philippines should clean up foreigners going there that do not have money to spend. Countries have tourist visas expecting you to have money to spend. Well, Matthew, I agree on parts of that. First off, yes, to anybody that's watching now and to anybody that watches this later on down the road, thank you for your service. It's a little bit of a day late here, but in the U.S., it's still that day of remembrance. Uh, you know what? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's hard to say how much there is for foreigners to spend. I know that the number of dollars that foreigners supply to the Philippines is considerable. And that's before we count all these guys that fall in love and start sending money once they get home to support their girlfriend and their girlfriend's family. And but then we get into that whole thing about long distance relationships and girlfriends, which I find absolutely absurd to a certain degree. I mean, if you can't routinely spend time with somebody, how do you have a relationship? But I guess that's, just the way I feel. Michael says personal remittances, the sum of net compensation of employees, personal transfers, and capital transfers between households, accounted for 8.9% of the gross domestic product. There you go. Michael looked the number up right there. And yeah, that's a big number. And tourism is a big number with respect to employees. So, I can't see the Philippines biting itself in the ass to change that. Michael says the Philippines needs the tourist money to support economy like people sending money home. Yes, absolutely. Ruby says OFW remittances is what keeps the U.S. dollar reserves up in the Philippine government. Yeah, I believe so. But you have to understand why. You can't keep a lot of US dollars here when you can't own things. So, while there's a significant number of expats that are married and they own things, all right, and there are a significant number of expats that have condos, the bottom line is that if you want to keep money flowing in here, you have to increase business. And if you're going to increase business here in the Philippines, you have some major issues you have to overcome. The first issue is going to simply be transportation. And then the next issue after that is going to be corruption. And then there's the actual work. And you know what? I was going to say work ethic. That's the wrong word because Filipinos work hard. There is the customer service portion of it. Ruby says that, yeah. And so Chucky says Chocolate Hills is a place to sit back, enjoy the view. It has some history as well. You know what, Sharky? We're going to find that out. That's why we're going to go. And it's never been on my bucket list. But, my daughter's never been, so we'll give it a whirl around. Ruby says, how about taking your dollar to Palawan? Underground River is a major tourist attraction. They're pristine like El Nido and Coron. Yes, Ruby. In fact, I think that next trip we're going to do 2 weeks in Palawan with my daughter. We've done the underground river. It's amazing. It's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is absolutely amazing. In fact, it's one of the only two places in my entire life that we've seen wild monkeys anywhere in the Philippines. And it just happened to be that at the entrance to the cave system that they take you in the underground river, off to the side, there were some. And I've only seen wild monkeys once otherwise in the Philippines. Um, El Nido, El Nido was nice and it was good. I mean, the beaches in El Nido to me are nothing to um, write home about. Now, outside of town, 20 miles outside of town, they get to be beautiful. And then Coron, to me, and that's just me, but Coron, I think, has some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. I think that their beaches are actually superior to Boracay, but their tourist system, their resort accommodations are just not built up enough. The sociopath says if it weren't for OFWs, the Philippines wouldn't be a peaceful place. I don't know. I'm not sure why it wouldn't be. Um, it was. Are you saying there just wouldn't be enough money for the people to be happy? It's possible, I guess. I think societies tend to work and become whatever they want to become um, by virtue of what it is they have. But who knows? Ban Jammy says, God bless the veterans. Yes, indeed. If it wasn't for the veterans, many of us wouldn't be here. If you're going to Alona Beach, keep an eye out for that 68 Pontiac Bonneville. I will. And yeah, we're staying at the Hennon Resort on Alona Beach. And I'll keep an eye out for that Bonneville. Yeah, Crazy Condo. Robert says right offhand, if you're not holding your hand, you're not dating. Well, apparently, Robert, we might be too old to consider what is dating nowadays. Um, we'll see. Your views about LDR is out there. Just wondering how you and Lynn started your relationship. Were you guys lived in the same neighborhood or city block back in the U.S.? No. Um, Arlene and I met by accident on one of my trips here, actually. And quite frankly, I had the means to travel back and forth routinely, and we did that. We started out, I would come for like a month every 3 months. And then after that, it became more and more often. Finally, we got married here in the Philippines. And then I turned around and brought Arlen to the U.S. So, um, and Arlen just wasn't that thrilled with the U.S., to be honest with you. It was very strange for her to not know her neighbors. It was very strange of her to see the excess spending in the U.S. It was very, there were just a lot of different things. Not that she disagreed with any of those things, they just weren't her simple way of life. In addition to that, her family is here. And we decided that we do well in the Philippines, and we have. With all the Ban Jamie says, with all the islands there, why doesn't the Philippines sell a couple islands for subdivisions? Um, well, I don't know. I have no idea what keeps the um, Philippine government doing what they do. Uh, However, what I do know is that there are, I mean, when you think about it, you've got Cebu and then you've got Mactan. And I think, isn't Mactan actually an island? There is no land bridge to Cebu from it, I don't think. I could be wrong. I don't think. Um, a lot of the other issues deal with power. There are a lot of settlements or villages on islands, communities on islands, and their power is by generator. They don't even have electrical lines laid out. So I don't know. I think it's just maybe something for the future. And I think you won't see them selling the islands for development. I think you'll see Philippine developers in there um, developing these islands. But then you've got to develop it into something that keeps people coming. So you've either got to develop a tourist niche on that island, or you've got to develop um, a retirement type, not retirement, I guess. The You've got to give people a reason more than just the beach every day to come to. I mean, otherwise, uh, there'd be places in the Philippines far, far more advanced than there currently are. I mean, if you look at Samar, which is beautiful islands, if you look at all of Bisaya, I mean, all of those very close islands, um, if you could develop a a living, vibrant living area on those where you could go to dinner and go shopping and have access to health services and things like that on a routine basis that are equivalent to what retirees need and expect, those would be far, far better. Rich Blang, how are you, Rich? It's so good to see you. It's nice to see that you're back. Good morning. Matthew says, too many foreigners coming there and don't even have 10K in a bank account, want a 1,200 mother allowance, Social Security, and get a Pine pregnant and move on. Visas, $2,500 a month pension, more valuable to the Phils. Matthew, you've like hit on 5 different things here. You've rang multiple bells. Um, yeah, people do exist on far smaller budgets. People are happy. There are people that are happy to do so. Um, what do they bring to the economy? I guess it's questionable. And in addition to that, you bring up the problem with, um, you know, we do have a lot of irresponsible tourists that come to the Philippines that get girls pregnant, and they're pieces of shit. I mean, I've made myself very well established over the past year on YouTube about. I don't think that that's an appropriate issue. I really don't. I don't think that leaving your children um, to become a single household in the U.S. where you don't support them, I think that's a piece of shit. And I think not supporting your children here is a piece of shit. And that's just how I feel. Hola, Dardos, ¿cómo está? Nice of you to drop in. I'm glad you could catch it. Ban Jammy says had a black 60 night Pontiac Catalina, called it the Batmobile. Yeah, I had a buddy that had, I don't know what year it was, but it was this monster. I mean, it's got to be probably one of the biggest cars, other than like a limousine or something, that I've ridden in. There's this old Bonneville, and he called it the Bombaville, Bombaville. It was a piece of crap, but man, you could probably hit a tree and the tree would lose. Matthews, thank you so much. Uh, can I can a guy find a good woman in Angeles? Actually, you know what, Matthew? First off, thank you so much for the super chat. Can a guy find a good woman in Angeles? Yes, absolutely. In fact, we were sitting around the pool yesterday afternoon. Um, we had to go to SM Mall yesterday, and pain in the butt. I hate going to SM on any day, but Mondays and Sundays and Mondays are the absolute worst. Saturday's bad, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so we decided, okay, you know what? We've done all of our running around. We're going to sit around, go to the pool, meet up with our friends. And one of our friends uh, exclusively dates only what I guess you would call good women. Okay? And in his mind, a good woman is not a bar girl. Okay? He dates girls that have jobs, are single, never married. And so, yeah. And we have another friend who was there, and we were talking about all this. And guys were comparing notes. And he dates. He dates only what I guess you would consider a higher quality woman. You know, I mean, you have to understand to get a job in IT here. Well, even to get a job in SM as a clerk, you have to have a college degree. Now, you can argue, just how good is a college degree here, but um, excuse me, they have to have a college degree. There are plenty of good women here. Rich says I'm correct. Mactan is an island. Thank you, Rich. Sharky says, yeah, Mactan is where you land when going into Cebu. You know what's funny, Sharky? We've never flown into Cebu. We have always come into Cebu from the ferry over in Bohol, the Fast Cat or whatever they call it. But wait a minute. You know what? I take that back. We have flown out of Cebu. In fact, one of our trips to Palawan was from Cebu. So, yeah, we flew out of Cebu. Oh, forgot about that. Ruby says, Matthew, if you move outside of Walking Street like any other city, you have a normal community, a lot of professional career ramen. And Ruby's absolutely correct. Okay? Ruby is absolutely correct. I mean, we don't live near Walking Street because it's where we make our life revolve around. We don't revolve that. We live near Walking Street because this condo is a rental investment for down the years, down the road. One of the things that I was thinking about when we bought it, and certainly it has come true, is that more Filipinos are creating a disposable income. I mean, the number of Filipinos that stay where we stay has drastically gone up. And what I thought would be a big deal is turning into a big deal eventually. the number of Filipino families that stay, it is not uncommon for us to have or see a half a dozen new faces every weekend where Filipino families, they want a pool, they want restaurants, they want nightlife, and they take a few days, a long weekend, just like in the U.S. when we would go go somewhere for a weekend. That's what they're doing. So even though walking street is an attraction, and even though walking street offers, um, we all know what it offers. Okay, it's not the heart and soul of Angeles City by any way, shape, or form. Um, it really and truly isn't. There are many. They have factories. They have call centers. We met a young lady the other day. She actually is a nurse, but because of her schedule and her children, she has two children. She is a data analytics person now. She does data analytics, um, IT analytics, because it's a better schedule for her and it pays better than being a nurse. So, yeah, Walking Street is not the catch all to everything. That's for sure. Well, let's see if we can wake this up here. I guess not. Okay, that didn't work. Up. Let me just stick that up here. If you're interested in supporting us, hey, feel free in the description. Actually, it's not in the description below because I didn't put it there. Ah, a little dusty this morning. So I guess that doesn't work. We'll just skip that. Mock times where you, if you, but like Ruby said, sure, there's a lot of professional career women here. Sharky says, yeah, it's a small island connected to Cebu by three bridges. And Sharky, while I've never really explored Mactan, aren't there a lot of resorts and tourist areas and everything else on Mactan? Does Mactan have a decent mall? I'm pretty sure it does. Rich says, Sunshine Shoulder says bar girls make great housewives. You know what? I think, and I've made this statement before, and I'm not going to change it. I believe that everybody is whatever they want to be. You know, if you can accept the mileage that a bar girl might have, but she can accept changing her life, that's no different, in my opinion, than somebody that was an alcoholic and decided to finally quit drinking. Although I know it's a big difference, but you see my point with that. I don't know that they make great wives. Arlen was never a bar girl, and I've never dated a bar girl, to the best of my knowledge. I did used to own a topless bar in the U.S. It was an investment. Ex-wife number two and I bought. It's not like it was where we made a living. I could tell you I would never date any of those girls. That's for sure. I mean, some of them were pretty sweet girls, but no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't date them. That is. Matthew says that's what I want. He wants to find a good girl, and I think, don't we all? Aren't all of us wanting to look for a good partner? I mean, isn't that part of what life is about? Is having something you can share in the trials, tribulations, the successes and failures of life. You know, life isn't perfect for anybody. Having a good partner to help you get through that uh, is a big deal. Ban Jammy says, if you don't mind my asking, is that a condo? It looks awful big for a condo. Yes, Ban, it is a condo. We have a 2-bedroom unit, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, CR, big balcony here at Candy Palace. Um, it's pretty big. I mean, it's about 120, 130 square meters, I guess, which to me is small, but by Philippine standards, it's pretty reasonably sized. This is the spare bedroom, spare bedroom office to then you know what? One day I'll actually film our. I did make a video of our condo, but I never was happy with it. I think maybe that's something I'll do is a tour of our condo one day. The sociopath. What I meant is the jobs issue in the Philippines is awful. Having an OFW in the family is a big deal. They keep their families from living in squatter zones. Yes, absolutely correct. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, it is a big deal. The OFWs bring in a tremendous amount of income. In the city that Lynn is from, population of about 6,000, I think. In the part of the city that we have a house that we built, the next 3 modern, decent houses are all built by a family of OFW seamen. These are guys that go out to ships. The father was a captain. The 2 sons got on board. Okay. The next 3 or 4 houses that are reasonable houses, okay, those houses are all built from families who are supported by OFWs. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And there are a lot of other OFWs that haven't built houses but send money routinely to their families. So the sociopath's absolutely correct. Ruby says, well, my hubby got lucky that he found a career woman from Angeles that ended up earning more than him in Australia. Plenty of highly educated women. I can introduce you if you're a good man. You know, Ruby, that's some dangerous ice. I kid you not. I have a lot of respect for Ruby. She's well spoken, articulate, and smart. And she stands her own ground. Um, I will tell you that of the 2 guys that we know that date good women, I would not recommend a friend of mine to date them. And we'll leave it at that. They're good guys, just not what I consider good dating material for a good woman. Sociopath says there are a lot of Filipino men who would qualify as pieces of shit in your view. Yeah, there are a lot of British guys, American guys, French guys, African guys, Chinese guys. I mean, a piece of shit is a piece of shit. Period. You know what? If you can't keep your TT in your pants and you're going to bring people into this world and not give them a good, solid fighting chance, then you're a piece of shit and you're becoming part of the world issue. Matthew says, I'm a good man and add financially good. Well, there you go. Matthew's making progress. Matthew, are you in the Philippines or coming to the Philippines? The sociopath says no tattoos allowed to work in SM or Jollibee. You know, I've heard that before. I didn't realize that, but I've heard it. Rich says Palawan is one of my favorite places in the Philippines. The island hopping in Palawan is just outstanding. It really is. Love it. Miyagi, good morning. McDonald's only hire college students and college grads. Again, these are things that, because I don't have children here, I don't know. Um, so if SM, McDonald's, Jollibee have hiring practices that are uh, college requirements, great. You know, I think that the Philippines, the future of the Philippines, lies in its children. Okay? It lies in its young people. And the more that anybody, whether it's a foreigner, whether it's an expat, whether it's a local business concern owned wholly by Filipinos, whether it's a single mom, the more that they can do to educate their children and give them a step ahead of where they were, they raise that generational bar. And the more that they raise that generational bar, the more um, the Philippines succeeds. You know, the Filipinos are not stupid. Just because there's a slight communication lag, you know, he, she, they, them. You know, one of my favorites, my wife, who speaks very good English. You know, she has a habit of saying, "Hey, can you send me XYZ? You know, send me to, like the other day we had to drop the comforters off. Our washing machine here isn't large enough for our comforters." And Arlen was like, "Hey, can you send me to the laundry? Because I was going to go to breakfast." And I said, "Can I send you?" "Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go." Well, obviously, what she means is, would you drop me off or would you take me by? All right. But that's just a slight communication issue. Filipinos are not stupid and they are hard working. When you have to live day by day based on, you know, what you earn daily, you can't be lazy and do that. Sharky says again, the Cebu airport's on Mactan Island. Yes. Oh my gosh, it's Mike from Mike's Philippine Journey. No, I don't use StreamYard, Mike. I use Ecamm. It has a ton more capability than StreamYard does. It's not free, but I love it. And it works and integrates because I'm an all Mac Apple environment. It works extremely well. In fact, I don't think Ecamm works on a PC Android basis. Now, I have been playing with the interview mode, which works exceptionally well. And the people that have come on to help me work with it and test it, in fact, I did with Robert, the crazy Condo, uh, it works extremely well. And he's on a PC and Android, I think, based system. So your interviewer can be on any platform you want it to be, but you have to run it, and it has to run on a Mac. So hope you're doing well, Mike. What's new with you? Oh, thank you for the support. Thank you, Miyagi. You know, I think this is the most I've ever had in a live stream. 33, 24 likes. That's huge for us. Usually I'm 10 to 15. Usually I'm just wasting my coffee away. Rich says, you have some great content. Yeah. For those of you that have not subscribed to Mike's Philippine Journey, MYK Philippine Journey, you should take a look at Mike. He explores the manosphere, I think, is the best, but he also explores making wise decisions. So, Rob Marr, hello, Mike. Just caught you live. Well, thank you, Rob Marr. So pleasure. I'm great uh, to have you here. Mike's dropping by to support me. Miyagi's dropping by to support me. It's really good. Moon River. I don't think. Good morning, Moon River. I hope you're doing well. So nice to see you. I see you in chat here and there when I get time over in Mike's channel. It's great to have you here. I'm thanking you so much. Banjammy. When I get there, we'll have to shoot a game. Okay. Mactan is too congested. Yeah, like I said, we've never really been to Mactan. Only, I guess, when we flew out of the airport on our way to Palawan. But we took the Fast Cat ferry from Bohol to Cebu, spent a couple days in Cebu, and then turned around and came out to Palawan. Banjammy. I've had that cough too. Flight of Icarus. See you in the Discord chart. For those of you that aren't aware, Mike's Philippine Journey, Mike has a Discord server running. Anyway, he has a Discord, and you should take a look at it. I don't have it set up to give that information out here. But Mike, feel free to post it if you'd like, and your channel. I live on Lapu Mactan. The malls aren't all that, but there's enough. I lived in Cebu City as well before for a year. Yeah, we were tourists in Cebu City, and that was an interesting trip. We were getting ready to plan a trip to Palawan, and for those of you that don't know, I have a disability. I'm not disabled, but I do have a disability. And I'm not going to go into it, but it just keeps me from being very physical. And all the stuff in Palawan, I told my wife, I said, well, why don't you invite Sophie, her friend, and we'll bring her along. And of course, the week before that, or 2 weeks before we left, it turned out that Sophie was pregnant. So Sophie was with us in Bohol, and then to Cebu, and then from there to Palawan, and actually turned out to be a great, great trip. Ban says, in this life, I'll point at you, and you can point at me. Mike says, looks like Candy Tower. Yes, Mike, we live here at Candy Palace, and we enjoy it. We've got 4 pools available to us in the Candy Resorts. We've got the gym. We've got 3 restaurants. We have 24-hour doorman, 24-hour front desk, and 24-hour security. So it's as safe as it's going to get. Nothing is totally safe, obviously. But it's, and the location is great for just about anything. I mean, if you're a big Walking Street fan, well, it's right down the road. We have friends that their daily exercise is walking to Walking Street. And, it's 15-minute, 10-minute walk. Jaybird, hey everyone. Mike, hope you're doing great. I was really great to meet you and the crew at ABC. Yeah, Jaybird, it was a pleasure to meet you. I actually had a good time at ABC. I met quite a few people. Um, I got envious of Mogman uh, living out in Leyte. He lives in a beautiful area, and he and his wife were such sweet people. They really and truly are. And I met Miyagi, and that was just really great. Uh, I just great people, really great people. Mike says my spare bedroom looks bigger than some vloggers' living rooms. I think part of that, although it is big, don't get me wrong, I think part of it is because um, I don't use the webcam built into my iMac. Um, I have a GoPro 9 or 8. I think it's a GoPro 8 as my webcam because the resolution is so much clearer and it's more vibrant. Uh, but it gives a little bit of a tunnel look, so it may be a little stretched out. But I mean, here I am. I've got a solid 3, 4 feet behind me to the bed. Then there's the bed. Then there's a space about 2 feet, 3 feet wide. And then there's a treadmill, a full size treadmill. Yeah, you can see I use that a lot, right? And then there's a space, and then you get to the sliding glass doors, and then there's the CR behind it. So it has its own bathroom. Jaybird says, Mike, would you think an Airbnb would be profitable in the Angeles City area? You know what, Jaybird? Sure, it would be if you buy it at the right price and if you can maintain it and pay for all of the things that go along with it. There are plenty of Airbnbs, with all property, it's all about location, location, location. And there's a lot of real estate being developed in Angeles, a ton of it. Craig Johnson, good morning, Mike. We really enjoy your opening theme song, and we're wondering what the name of the song is and who the singer is. We love your show. Um, okay, so I get all of my music from Epidemic Sound, and that is one of their independents. Snake City is the people that do it, and you know what? If you shoot me a comment or an email, I'll be happy to look up the actual name of the song. I thought it was just a really neat um, uh, thing. I really, I thought it was a catchy little tune, and that's why I plugged it in. Miyagi's pumping me up. Thanks so much. Wow, the support here has been incredible today. Moon, where are you located at? You're in the Philippines, aren't you? If I'm not mistaken. Jaybird says he met a successful Filipina that owns a marketing business in Dubai. Might end up moving there. Wow. Um, I've had friends that lived in Dubai. I'm not sure that I could live there, to be honest with you. Miyagi says, Jason, are you heading back to Africa? Sharky says, I think the hiring pool is deep in the Philippines, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of employable people in the Philippines. So, a lot of it has to do with locations, where they're at, what they're having to deal with. You can have college educated single women that have children, and they're restricted by that. And I give them credit. I give them a lot of credit, because when you stand up to raising a child, when you accept that responsibility, that's a good thing. Jaybird says, yeah, I'm in Djibouti now. Hot as crap there. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Ban says it's like washing a turd. You can wash and wash, but in the end, it still smells funny. Okay. That can make for some jokes, Jaybird. I see Ecamm is nice. It just takes too much space for my Mac. No, I don't think so. Mike, you should download its free trial. I think there's a free trial. You should give it a try. Um, all of this that you see that's going on right now is all going to their server. So what's happening is um, its footprint. I don't think it's that big. My iMac that I have this on, it has plenty of footprint, but it's a 6-year old processor. Ruby says you have to make sure that when you send your children to university in the Philippines, it has to be top university in the country, not just any university. Yeah, Ruby, I agree. You have to send your kid to a good school. Philly in the Philippines, and Angelique. Good morning, Brian. I thought, are you on your way out of town to Taal today? I think Philly and his wife might be going down to Taal today. Smooth Lee, here to support. I'm enjoying the live chat. Thank you, Lee. I certainly appreciate it. And James Gilbert, good morning. Just got back from walking the dogs. It's going to be a hot one. Yeah, James, it is going to be hot today. I'm really impressed. This is like a monster-sized live stream. And it'll be the last live stream we do for a couple of weeks. While my daughter's here, um, we're not going to be able to do any live streaming. I'm not sure how much videos we'll be able to upload while we're traveling and sightseeing. Whoops. Joe from Canada, welcome. So nice of you to drop in. Let's see here. Nothing new. Sharky notified me at the Discord. Oh, that was so nice. Mike, I enjoyed your channel a lot. I watch most of your videos. I need to remember to hit the like button on all of them. Well, I'm going to admit, yes, indeed. I even forget. And I try and always hit the like button on everybody's videos, even the videos and the people I don't like or watch or believe in, just so it helps them. But it's habit. Sometimes you just forget. But thank you, Jaybird. I appreciate it. A lot of us came from the Discord card, Mike. I had to support. You know what? When this is done, I'll go into the About section and I'll make sure to put your Discord in there so that more people can see. Not that, it'll get much views or anything. We're such a small channel. I don't feel bad about where we're at, to be honest with you. But we certainly aren't growing in leaps and bounds and adding hundreds of viewers a day. I think the biggest, we're just not. But we're having fun with it, and that's all that matters. And if we can help people and understand the Philippines, and if we can get information out to people about the reality, then, hey, great. Good business concept, if someone wants to do it, would be to make a water taxi from all the luxury hotels on Lapu-Lapu around to close to the airport. I don't know, Jay. I'm just not familiar enough with it, but it might be. Smooth says he likes staying at the Mactan Newtown when he's in Cebu. We'll have to keep that in mind. That might be a place. The family is good, brother. Be in the Philippines this Thursday. Whereabouts you coming? Are you going to Cebu, Lee, or do you have a set agenda? Florida Mike. Hey Mike, hope you guys are well. How you doing? We're doing good, to be honest with you. Wow. 35 people in and 35 likes. To me, that's amazing. I just can't get over. I have so much to learn about YouTube. And I have to learn to keep my mouth shut sometimes too, because I have obviously inadvertently pissed off a few people more than once. I've lost subscribers after a video, people not believing. I've learned there are certain topics that I just have to keep my mouth shut about. Um, Smoothly, there you go. That's why we always stay at Candy Palace every time we visit Angeles City for all the positive things you said. It's pricey too if you stay over a month though. You know what? I haven't looked in a couple months now at the prices. I do know, Ruby, that it's booked. I can tell you that we may not have every unit in this place booked every day, but I will guarantee you, I would bet you 100 pesos that every unit in this place is booked every weekend. And I would bet you more than 60 to 70% of the units here are booked every day. We have 3 full-time people on our floor, not counting us. The people that live above us are full-time. It just, it has a lot of amenities. The one thing we don't worry about is leaving for a week or two. We just lock the door and we go. No yard to take care of. I have a buddy that comes over, waters the plants every 3 days. Our Lynn has these stupid plants out on the balcony. Yeah, there you go, Mike said. It's Snake City, LA Made You Crazy, is the name of our intro song. Thank you, Mike. In fact, believe it or not, and I lost a bet to Arlen, she's actually got 4 avocado trees growing on the balcony. Now, the question is whether they'll make the transfer from here to the province. But those stupid avocado trees are growing right next to the plants that we have on the balcony. Ban says, I appreciate your channel, but I ain't buying you coffee. Buy you a beer when I get there. Okay, Ban. That works for me. Craig says, thank you, Mike, for the information. Will you have your daughter in the show if she is there? Bless you and your wife and Arlen in the show. You know what, Craig? No, I will not. I will not put my daughter on this, and I will tell you why. My daughter is, to me, of course, an angel, number one. And number two, she has a private life, and she's going to have a very professional career. She, I'm not going to get into it, but she'll have a very professional career, and I don't want anything that's going to come back to possibly interfere with that at any given time. And then finally, the last thing is you know what? She's a single girl. She has a boyfriend. She won't admit it, all right? But I know she does. But she's a single woman who lives with another single woman while going to college. In fact, I'm really proud of her. She just finished her undergraduate work 2 weeks ago. She graduated last week. That's what this trip is about. and now she's going to continue on to her MBA, and during that she has applications for um, um, school in the healthcare field, and we'll see how that goes. But there's just too many crazies out there, and I just don't want to involve the small chance or risk that something would come of that. Philippine citizens are very smart. There's a lot of we have Filipino friends, and they're smart. Okay, always making things work. If not, yeah, you know they are, Chris. They really and truly are. Oh, it's BT and Betty. Welcome, BT. How you doing? Hope you guys are doing well. How's things going in a riot? Miyagi, is my daughter a digital nomad? That seems to be the trend now with younger generation. No, she's not. Um, you know, my daughter just graduated. In fact, I'm very proud of her. My daughter managed to accumulate in 4 years of undergrad. She managed to accumulate about 135 semester credit hours, which is way beyond the 120 it takes to graduate. Um, she's in the animal health sciences area, and it's her dream to be a vet. And so she has started her vet school applications, but she has two additional classes she's going to take next semester because she has to. Um, Vet schools have certain requirements that are not required, and she wanted to get a degree that would be both in animal health sciences and in animal health genetics. So she ended up having to take more classes than um, what she needed um, in her curriculum. But no, she's not a digital nomad, but she is an Instagrammer, that's for sure. Smooth Lee says he'll be in Cebu City. Don't be surprised about the views on this live stream. Your channel is great. Oh my God, Lee, thank you so very much. We we try. We really and truly do. Ruby says, I think your timing on live stream is quite critical in order to have good numbers. Yes, I do as well. I think that it has to appeal to um, the American audience timing and days. And, obviously, the when you post a video, it's also a timing issue. It seems like my timing's been off lately. But also, it could be, sometimes we cover content that's just not that critical or interesting to other people. So, sometimes the views are down. I don't worry about it too much personally. BT says hello to everybody. Betty's at her mom's house because of the funeral. Our condolences to Betty, please. Banjami says water taxi sounds good to him. Ruby says she booked her accommodations back in 2023, March of 24-hour stay in August, September. Yeah, you've got to book in advance to get in here. Mike, I value your perspective on everything you vlog. Keep telling it like it is. Don't let haters change your content. Well, thank you, Jay Bird. You know what? I like the haters. I love the trolls. I really do. I think everybody's entitled to their opinion. And I like seeing other people's opinions because, we make mistakes and we're wrong. We're not always correct by any way, shape, or means. On the other hand, I like to screw around with the trolls too. So, keeps me busy, gets me past that second pot of coffee. Lewis, thank you so much. Wow, a super chat. I'm really grateful for that. Something we're not really too used to. I think we've only gotten uh, super chats and stickers and things like that. Once one live stream, couple three, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago we got a couple. So it's all nice. It all goes, all of the money that we make on YouTube, the hundreds of pesos we make on YouTube, all goes into a fund that goes into a charitable giving situation in the province. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Um, we didn't get into YouTube to make money, and we don't stay in YouTube to make money. We got into YouTube so I could run my mouth, so I could have fun, so we could be of a benefit and to occupy time. It beats the hell out of sitting on a bar stool drinking, of which I'd be terrible at because I'm not a big drinker. Is the light above your head any good at growing hair? I don't know. Man, to be honest with you, uh, the hair on the sides of my head grows fine. I shave my head and my face every day, sometimes twice my face if we're going out. I have a heavy beard. So it's obviously the light up there hasn't done a lot of good though for what's on my head. 76 to 78 degrees is prime avocado blooming temp. Long time to fruit though, and it's unpredictable unless taken as a cloned sapling. They all turn out different. Yeah, I got no idea. Icarus, I have absolutely zero. I am like the worst person in the world to grow plants. Lynn keeps ours alive, not me. But I have no idea what it takes to grow a decent avocado, and I got no idea how I'm gonna pack an avocado plant for a flight to the province. That ought to be interesting. Lewis says, thanks for sticking up for veterans. I do. You know something, Lewis? I am, I don't, let me see how to say this in the most politically correct way. I was in the Navy for a couple of years. I had to discharge from the Navy for unforeseen circumstances due to a accident. That being said, I contributed very little to the Navy. But I got to tell you something. Our veterans have given a lot. The children of veterans have given a lot. And the wives of veterans and families of veterans have given a lot. And I think they deserve a lot of respect. I don't care if they were flipping burgers or shooting nuclear bombs. They all were there for representing our government's desires, whether you agree with that or not. BT and Betty's father passed away, so we're going through that. Is why I've been in town. Holler at you next week on lunch. Hey, BT. Yeah, our deepest condolences. We hope you're doing well, and please pass that on to Betty. We won't be in town for the next couple of weeks. We're leaving for Bohol in a few days, and we will see you when we get back. Joe says, fun stream. Wife and I have to head to the park for a walk. Take care. See you later. Thank you, Joe. Have a great day. You always mention about having coffee. Just how many cups of coffee do you have in a day? I drink a pot and a half to 2 pots of coffee a day in the morning here where we live. Okay? Once in a while, there are a couple of places that I love their coffee. Cafe Meilio, Meilio, EUX, I think, in right there at the entrance to Walking Street, has what I think is the best coffee. The uh, but you know, it's when you're in the healthcare field, you live on coffee, unfortunately, unless you are young and stay away from it to begin with. Grow your beard. Our Lynn does not like my beard at all. And again, thank you. Oh, Jay Bird, thank you so much. Great. So much. You know, we thank you guys so much. God bless. Miyagi. Mike don't do cups anymore. He has an IV straight through his veins from a bag. Dark roast. Yeah. I tell you, you know something that surprises me though. I don't consider myself a coffee snob. All right. I grind my own beans when I get whole beans and stuff like that. I'm not into any frou-frou stuff. I'm into coffee. No cream, no sugar, just coffee. And I don't know if it's the Greek heritage or anything like that. I want coffee I can almost chew on. I want strong, rich coffee. And I'm going to tell you something. We have found a few brands of Filipino coffee. That shit will literally bite you back. It is good. Good stuff. Jay Bird says next time he comes over, bring some Ethiopian coffee. I'd love to give it a try. You know, I like good, strong coffee. Icarus says he's a medical heirloom farmer in the U.S., all managed remotely these days. I've got orchids, bananas, coca, and herb garden here in the PI. Yeah, that's one of Arlen's dreams is to eventually have a nice garden area in the province. Florida man, Pete's coffee is good. Yes, Pete's coffee is pretty good. Ruby says, isn't drinking a lot of coffee affect your health? You know, Ruby, yes, absolutely. And it's unfortunate. I made a mistake. I'm a lifelong type 1 diabetic. I never expected to live past 50. I never expected to have two functional legs past 40. And I beat all those odds. But because I didn't expect it, it didn't bother me to sit there and smoke. And it didn't bother me to drink coffee. Because I knew, although I was wrong, I knew I wasn't going to make it. But I did. Miyagi only drinks coffee when he's smoking cigars or smoking pipe. Yeah, you know what? I like a nice cigar once in a while. I really do. 2 pots of coffee is brave, even when we ran long missions. I was 4 to 8 shots of espresso in 2 to 3 days. You know, I don't do espresso often at all. I like having something to drink, and I like the bitterness of the coffee that I drink on my tongue. So it's good. It really and truly is. There's some good strong coffee to be had here, but mostly my family drink instant. Yeah. Um, uh, you know, best thing I've found is when I'm traveling and um, uh, everything. If I mix 3 packets of instant with the amount of water it takes for 1 packet, that's a tolerable cup of coffee. Miyagi, Cape Barco, yes, that is good stuff. And that is what we buy often, Miyagi. We get that at JJ's. Oh, which is a little family grocery store up the road. It is good. Ruby says that's even worse when it comes to your health. Your mantra in life, YOLO. You only live once. Black Coffee, try the song by Humble Pie. I know the song. I absolutely do. You misjudge my age. Humble Pie, Three Dog Night, all of those guys. Jay Bird says you should start hitting the vitamin B1, fat soluble, of Ben Fortman. You drink lots. I do take B1. I do. And once in a while, I'll go get a B12 shot. Um, Not that it does that good that much on a long term basis, but once in a while, I'll go get it. Good morning, Cy. Nice to see you in here. It's so good. Miyagi, I quit cigarettes about 30 years ago. You know, I met Miyagi, and I got to tell you, he is an interesting guy. He really and truly is. And his partner, Lee, and I say partner Miyagi because I can't remember if you're actually married or not. His partner, Lee, wonderful young lady, and she has gotten a great opportunity, I think. And I hope it's really working out for her. Michael says 3 pots of coffee and lots of Pepsi is the Twitch diet. I guarantee you lose weight. Let's hope not. The Pepsi is, you know, I don't drink that much soda. I might have one soda every other day. Kind of depends on the meal I'm having. Sometimes I have one a day. But soda is horrible, horrible for you. It really and truly is. It's terrible. You know, uh, I can't tell you other than that. It's just not good for you. Um, you know, I'm kind of concerned. You know, I thought my daughter was going to get in-flight Wi-Fi, but I guess she opted not to. So I've been doing flight tracker on her flight. I am a little bit concerned about my daughter's flight. So she flies into Tokyo in about another 8 hours, 9 hours. And then she's going to take the bus from Narita to Hanada. And she's going to spend the night in one of those pod hotels at Hanada. It's a little bit of an adventure for her. She's actually psyched out about going to a Japanese 7-Eleven. But with that being said, I'm a little bit concerned about flying the next day from Hanada to Manila because she's going to have to go straight through that hurricane system. Now, I think it's depleting, and I think they'll be able to go around most of it, but it's not that I'm concerned about the flight. I'm more concerned about the timing. All right. Will she get delayed? Will she get stuck a little bit? Will this happen or that happen? I don't know. But you know what? For her, it's an adventure. You know, she has come to the Philippines. She flew here. She's flown international by herself before. But this is the first time that she has to change airports in a foreign country by herself. But she's a smart girl. I don't think she's going to have much of a problem. And Japan's a very organized place, so I don't think that'll be much of an issue as well. I really and truly don't think. So let's see here. She isn't flying into Clark. No, Jaybird, she's not. Um, I have like a gabillion frequent flyer miles. And in order for her to come here, we use those miles. And she flies on JAL, Japan Airlines, to use those miles. And JAL does not fly into Clark. And it's okay because, quite frankly, we look at it as a kind of like an excuse to shoot down to Manila a couple hours before her flight and go have a nice lunch and relax and do whatever. And then in turn, um, between the Skyway now and the NLEX, unless there's a wreck on the NLEX, it's only an hour and 25 minutes from the airport to Angeles. So, I mean, well, you know what? Hour and 30 minutes from 40 minutes at the most from NAIA to, our Lynn's looking at me, the evil eye, from NAIA to Angeles City. Um, Michael says, like the Grateful Dead, living on Red's vitamin C and cocaine. It's cheaper to land in Manila than Clark. Yes, Miyagi's absolutely correct. It is. Uh, there's a premium to be paid for convenience. And the other problem is if she flying into Clark is limited for direct flights from overseas. So she would most likely end up in Manila, go through customs and immigration in Manila, and then have to go back through security, get on a flight to Angeles, which is kind of stupid, unless she flew Korean Air. Now, if she flew Korean Air, but unfortunately, my American airline miles don't work on Korean Air. Paul Henderson, CNRA friend here, first time. Hello, Paul. It's nice to see you. Paul, what part of the U.S. are you in? You know, I actually used to have a friend named Paul, but not Henderson. That was a CNR in the U.S., CNRA. And yes, I do remember you from some of our previous chats and comments. Last time I flew into Manila, it took 3 hours to exit the airport. Well, I'm going to tell you, James, last time we flew into Manila from Thailand, it took us 2.5 hours to get through immigration. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And Miyagi's correct. It's an $8 bus ride from Terminal 3 to SM Clark. So if you get on the Genesis bus, it's nice, it's clean, it's air conditioned. Sit back, close your eyes, go along for the ride. I think it's 380 pesos. Last I looked. Senior citizens get a discount, but only if you're a Filipino senior citizen. Greg, no. It wasn't a personal question. Please don't feel bad at all. Do not apologize. There's no need for that. Have the Jason Bird wants to know if some of the light rail between Manila and Clark will be completed. They've given some dates. None of them have been accurate so far. I think it'll be about 2 years, maybe a little faster than that. They're working pretty hard on it, but they've got some big issues that they still have to overcome. They've got to get across Fields Avenue. That train track comes right up by what used to be called Freelancers Park. Right, actually, that train will be right behind Candy Palace. Okay? And it's got to get across Fields Ave or Perimeter Road. Then it's got to get across the big street. And then it's got to get across another small street. They've got to get them past that. So we'll see. Ruby says, what I'm feeling about my daughter is normal for a parent. That's what I felt when my daughter first traveled overseas on her own. But as the years went on, I trusted her and with her judgment. Yeah. And my daughter's been very independent, Ruby. She, I don't interfere with her decisions. I know her mother sticks her nose in it a little bit more often than me. But all truth be said, You know something? My ex-wife was a horrible, horrible wife, but she's a very good mother. And I don't try and, you know, my daughter graduated from high school 4 days after her 16th birthday. And so we, she makes a lot of decisions she makes on her own. Paul Henderson, I live in Sarasota County. Oh, nice, Paul. Florida was my second choice for retirement. Miyagi says probably another 10 years. Well, and he's uh, uh, knows more about the Philippines than I do. Paul says he's in Indiana now. He has a pole barn here with some old cars stored. Oh, nice. Benjamin, are you familiar with Clark? Yeah, I'm familiar with Clark. Jaybird's laughing. Ban says, I've flown through Clark twice. Super facility, immigration, ticketing, check-in, very fast. Almost a travel. Yeah, you know what, Jay? Everybody that we've talked to that has used here is that has used Clark has been that way. Emirates has a flight from Dubai that gets through. Brian says the rail is going to be raised. Yeah, you know what, Brian? I don't know how they're going to do that, though. I mean, what's it going to take to get the supports across the street? But you know what? Maybe by then, Red Street will be done. We're still waiting on that. Todd, hey, Mike, Miyagi, Jaybird, nice to see you, Todd. Thank you for dropping in. Ruby asks, why aren't they building a tunnel to eliminate all the crossings? Not only will this reduce the conflicts and future accidents. I don't know, Ruby. Brian says that the plans are that it's going to be a raised line. So, and that wouldn't surprise me. I know that when you travel to Manila right now, coming out of Quezon City, they've been building the rail for them for a couple of years, and it's all raised on pylons. So, can they make it across the street? Yeah. How they do that, I'm not quite so sure. I wonder if that's going to put a big hurting on the jeepney terminal that's across the street. But I think that's maybe 100 yards up and over. I don't know. Brian, do you know anything about how that's going to work? Sai says, smart dad. I'm not sure. 2025, Brian says, that's what they've got. Paul says he was stationed here in Clark in 1966, 67. Wow. Ruby says, here in Australia, the government has started removing the railroad crossings. Are they elevating them, Ruby, or going underground with them? Ban Jammy, hey, no, I need to be the first to apologize. Jaybird Todd. Wow, it's been a really unique opportunity here. I don't know how the actual railway is going to work, but I can tell you this: the Philippines, if it can figure out how to get past its transportation issues, will just quite literally become a far better Southeast Asia destination than any other country. If we could, unfortunately, and I don't say this to be rude, and I can give you some examples, but if we could get rid of the jeepney issues and the trike issues and clean up traffic, the entire country would make an astounding leap ahead. The raised line in that Balibago area will conflict with the overpass pedestrian through SM. It's possible. I don't know. I just don't know. And I haven't seen any actual plans, Ruby. Todd says he's glad he's subscribed. He's enjoying the content delivery. Well, thank you, Todd. I'm glad we could put something out there that people like, and we certainly appreciate it. Both either elevator or underground to eliminate the crossings. Yeah. I wish we could do it. You know what, folks? It's been an hour and 40 minutes. By far the longest live I've ever done. I want to say thank you to everybody. Never really expected it. Those of you that contributed, I'm just at a loss because it just never happens. Thank you so much. Please don't hesitate to email us with any kind of ideas for content or to let us know. We would certainly appreciate it. And more than anything else, we hope you have a great day. Finally, we're going to be a little bit spotty on, actually, we'll be a lot spotty on getting content out in about 3-4 days as we tend to travel. But we're going to be taking a lot of content. So we'll have a ton of content from after the trip. And if you can think of anything, please feel free to email us with any suggestions of Bohol and the area that you can think of. Otherwise, I'd like to say thank you to all of you and to have a great day. Bye.